Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? I am Rome, aka Romeattic. Romeattic. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll adjust my camera a little bit. You see the iPhone with my name in it? That's when I used to be crazy about iPhones and when I used to have my iPhone 3G. But I no longer am crazy about iPhones like I used to be. And now I have a HTC Evo 4G and I'm loving it. The screen is huge. That thing is really, really big. I love it. But anyways, this is not about cell phones. This video is about what I have recently learned about within the past few weeks is about law of attraction. It's this con- concept or whatever you want to call it that our thoughts manifest reality. And when I first heard that, it was kind of weird at first. It was really kind of weird. However, after I saw the movie The Secret, I started to do more and more research about it. And the more I understood it made more sense to me. And then I started looking back in my previous life, I mean, a few years ago, and I started to realize that I was using law of attraction and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it. And the thing is, I want to let the people who are curious about this know that with the way the law of attraction works, it works in huge, humongous ways, and it also works in the very small, minute ways, even the smallest ways. Like, I'll give you a few examples. I'm gonna go with two examples. I'm gonna first start off with a small example of how law of attraction works, even when you don't realize it. And this was years when I was 15 years old, because and this is when I started making beats too. And back then, I think I only had a Sega Genesis, and this is the year when I think it was a year or two after the Sony PlayStation came out. And then my cousin, he got a Sony PlayStation, the gray one, back then for Christmas. So it was like everybody around me was getting all these electronics and all of these PlayStations. Everywhere I went, every friend of mine that I knew at that time had a PlayStation. And it sucked. I was the only one who was stuck with a Sega Genesis. So this is what happened. I was sitting down by myself, as I do a lot of times, and stuff just pops in my head. And I was sitting down saying to myself, I was in my room by myself, door was closed when I was 15 years old, in my chair in front of the TV. And I said to myself, I wish I had a PlayStation. And I was just thinking about it, thinking about it, and thinking about it. And then it was crazy. The thing is, I don't remember it happening a few minutes later or a few days later. I don't know which one happened. So this is how it went down. So I was sitting there thinking about it, and I think I was thinking about it even a day later. I was still kind of confused. I don't remember any other details. So the phone was next to me, right? Okay, the phone was either to the left of me or on my bedroom. I mean, on my bed. So, or somewhere it was around me. Then I picked it up, and it was my aunt. And then I picked it up, and I was like, "Hello." And she was like, "Romy, do you want such and such? Do you want his PlayStation?" And I was like, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." So like, "Okay, I'll give it to you. Blah blah blah. You can have it." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And then I hung up. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get a PlayStation. I'm gonna get a PlayStation." So boom, I end up getting a PlayStation, bringing it home, being so happy about it. I was extremely happy about it, and that's how I first started with the MTV Music Generator, that game or whatever you want to call it. Started making beats on that, and then kept making it after. I mean, beat after beat after beat till I have hundreds of beats, and now I still have a lot of the beats from when I was 15 to 17 years old and 19 years old, and I'm a lot older now. I'm 26 now, so that was years and years ago, and I'm 26 and I still feel 21. But anyways, So that's how I got started making beats, and that was history. That was my first example that I could remember that was on a small scale. Now on a bigger scale, a much bigger scale, is when I used to work downtown as a medical claims processor. And what I used to do, I used to process medical claims for clients and doctors and their clients. So I was there for about 2.5 years, something like that. And I didn't intend to be there that long. My goal was to get in there, whatever money I made from there, to use that money and put it towards my music. And that's what I've been doing, my music and graphic design. So it was one time where I was sitting in front of the computer by myself, just reflecting. And that's when a lot of stuff comes to me when I'm by myself. And that's why I recommend to people being by yourself a lot. Spend alone time with no music at all either, where you can think. Because that's when a lot of ideas, a lot of images pop in my head. And that's when I can think. So I was thinking like, wait a minute. I am here way longer than I expected, and I did not intend to be here that long. And this was when I was at work. I didn't want to be there that long. So I'm like, man, why am I still here? And I was appreciative because I was getting money and I had a job at that time. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that wasn't my intention to be there that long. So I started to think like, okay, now what can I do to get out of here? What do I need to do to get out of here? What do I want? So either the next day or a few days later, I started to think about what do I want. So I thought about it, and back then I thought about how I wanted to be home more so that I can work on my music, write and record more music, and make more beats, and also still have enough income so that I can take care of all of my bills, pay my rent, groceries, and anything else. So I kept thinking about that. I think it was a weekly thing for me. I'm not too sure if it was a daily thing, but it was a weekly thing. I kept thinking about it over and over again and envisioning it. Without me realizing that I was envisioning it, I was just thinking about it. Whether it be words or images, I was just thinking about it over and over again. So then the thing is, now that I understand how the universe works, you don't know how long your thoughts will manifest. You don't know how long it's gonna be. It could be either a few hours after you got done manifesting it, which is instantly, or it could take a few days, take a few weeks, or even a few months. You don't know. That's the crazy thing about it. So back to my story when I used to work at my previous job. So a few months later, due to the economy, they started to close my department. So one by one, or a couple of heads, they started to pluck out and take people out. And it was unfortunate. I was one of the first ones to go. I was like either between the third and fifth one to go. So they brought me upstairs, talked about blah blah blah, and we have to let you go. So they gave me a packet. I'm reading through it, and it was talking to me about it, and they was talking to me about a severance. So I didn't know what a severance was at the time, and this was my first time hearing about the severance. So what a severance is, for people who don't know, is a severance is a certain amount of income that jobs or anybody else will provide a person for a certain period of time so that they can take care of themselves and do whatever else until they're able to get on their feet. So that's what they did with me. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I started to put two and two together, and I was like, oh, wow. Well, actually, this means that I can be home more, record more music, and then do whatever it is I want and not have to go to work. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I got off the bus, and it was about 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I realized, like, man, it feels kind of weird though. I'm used to being at work around 11. So I got off the bus, and I started thinking like, all right, well, this is what I wanted, so now I have to do what I said I wanted to do. And ever since then, I started to put in more work with my music. I got done with 3 projects. I got done with my first mixtape. That was Versus Volume Versus Volume 1, yeah. My second project was a loading EP. Or I think the loading EP was first, yeah. That was first, then came my mixtape. Loading EP. And then my third and current project is uh, New York Terminal. New York Terminal, that one got a lot of reviews. A lot of people like it. And let me see if I have my... oh, yeah. I do have my... Hold on. Here we go. If I can get this out of the way, well, forget it. I just broke my case, but anyways, this is my New York Terminal cover. That's my business card. And you can check out romaticonline.com if you want to hear my music. And you can check out all of my other videos too with my music. One of my favorite tracks that I got up on YouTube right now is Another Fight Night, which was a track inspired. It was inspired from one of my favorite video games, Fight Night Champion. If you got Fight Night Champion, no, I'm not giving my gamer tag out. I was gonna give my gamer tag out. No, I don't want to give that out. But that game is nice. I love that game, and it was inspired from that. So check Another Fight Night out on YouTube. If you want it, you can go to romaticonline.com. If I have everything set right now, I have everything set on the website, so you can go there and download it. But anyways, back to Law of Attraction. That was my examples. I'm not going to go into specifics or whatever. I'm just going to give you examples that it does work. Law of Attraction does work, and I do recommend you trying it. First, check out the movie The Secret. It's called The Secret, and The Secret talks about the law of attraction in a overall general view. It doesn't really go into specifics, not too much. So after you watch it, you're going to have to do your own research. You have to do your own research, because it was after I watched that and I did my own research, the more I understood it, and now I know what I need to do. So I'm really interested in seeing what else I can manifest in my life. I'm really excited about it. The next thing I want is my favorite car, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution MR9. I love that car. That car is the same car that was in one of my favorite movies, Too Fast, Too Furious. Too Fast, Too Furious. That was 2003. So that was a 2003 Lancer Evo. I don't know what Evo that was. I think that was a 6 or 7, one of them. But I want the Mitsubishi 9 because that's a 6-speed. I love manual transmissions, and that 6-speed is what I want. So once I get that, so you have to believe it. Once I get that, I will be putting the video up on YouTube, and I will be showing people that law of attraction is possible. I will be showing that. And the thing is, I'm not sure how long the universe is going to take to provide that Lancer Evo to me. I'm not sure how, but I will put it up. So anything else? I think that's it. And I gotta say is do your research, and you have to believe that it will work. You might get discouraged at first for a little while because you're not being patient enough to allow the universe to work. Synchronization, everything happens in sync and for a reason. So if you don't get what you want, there is a reason why you don't get it, and there might be that reason could be because something greater might happen, versus what you wanted. Something even more in abundance might come to you. So just take your time. That's what I want to say. All right, this is Romeattic, or you can call me Rome. Check out romaticonline.com. ROMEATTIC online.com, and peace out.